Hi Murli, good morning. Shubprabhat, Shubhodayam. So welcome to you and welcome to all our viewers to our next episode on how the Vedas, how the Upanishads, how our ancient knowledge, ancient philosophies, ancient spirituality is valid even today. So what is today's topic? What is today's title? What's the title of today's episode?
Today's title episode is how Vedas depicted different gods, especially the sun god, and how the gist of Vedas about sun god, their prayer to sun god, or their understanding of sun god is reflected in our film songs, which reached common man so beautifully and which imprinted those meanings on common man's mind without them knowing that these are almost like translations of Vedas, or giving a gist of the meaning of Vedas.
Tell me what is first before we go on to talk about what Hindi film songs or Telugu film songs or Tamil film songs or Marathi film songs, how they convey the idea of God, the concept of God, the philosophy of God, the ideology of God, the religion of God to the common man through the lyricist. What's your interpretation of God? What does God mean to you?
So this is a question that I'm reading, because God is something that cannot be defined, that cannot be really explained. It has to be felt, because even in Veda, if you see, the concept of God is shrouded in such a mystery that people misunderstand it and say that there are 33 crores of gods in Vedas. Vedas depict so many 33 crore gods, that there are so many gods, 33 important gods, then lesser gods, such things like that. But ultimately, when you study Veda or when you go deep into Veda and try to understand it from the Indian point of view, not the interpretation done by others who are not conversant with Indian mind or Indian way of thinking, let us forget about it. And once you look at it like you are an Indian, and when you read Vedas, what your mind says, what your heart says, and what your blood responds to, God is something that is tangible and intangible at the same time. Because Veda says that you can see God, or you cannot perceive the absolute truth with the limitations that the physical entity imposes on you. So mind cannot reach it, eyes cannot see it, ears cannot hear it. Beyond that is the God, is the realm of God. So instead of really thinking about what God is or how to define God, let us directly jump into the Vedic mind and see how they perceived God. Like in Vedas, there is a very good shloka or very good mantra. In Vedas, we should not say shloka, it is mantra, where Vedic rishis, after praying to God, really think, is there really a God up there who is hearing our prayers, or who are understanding our prayers, and who will give us boons? That means even Vedic rishis were contemplating the existence of God, the permanence of God, like a God existing up there who will hear our prayers and give us boons. Based on this, a Nobel Prize winner called John Steinbeck has written a beautiful novel called To a God Unknown. God is unknown. It is a concept. It is a philosophy. That's something which has to be felt by an individual. And the individual who feels it will show us the way. Follow it, you will also experience it. Don't follow it, find your own way. That is what Vedas is, the most rational, most democratic way of thinking. So in Vedas, it starts with Agni Mile Purohitam. That means Agni is eulogized as a god who is responsible for everything. But whenever you try to interpret Veda, it should be done in three tiers way. First is physical, then is metaphysical, then something beyond all this cosmos, beyond this physical. So when you observe it in the physical realm, Agni is Agni, fire. Forget about it. Go a step further. So that means Bhumi, Prithvi, Akasha, Antariksha. Prithvi is physical, Akasha is metaphysical, Antariksha is beyond all these things. So on Prithvi, it is Agni. In Akasha, it is sun god. And beyond that is again a different thing. So now when we come to sun god, you just try to put yourself in the shoes of a rishi in olden days, in those ancient times, when civilization is not so developed, when technology is not developed, when you don't have fans, electricity, all those things. Try to put yourself in the shoes of that rishi who was sitting on top of a mountain or in a cave or in a jungle and just looking up. Everything is dark during the night. And as the sunrise come up one by one, you don't know how sun rises in the east. We say sun rises in the east. But even if you look at it, without batting an eyelid for hours together, you cannot perceive when the first ray of light comes up in the sky, in the horizon, how the horizon is lit up. But you can feel it. You can feel the sun rising up, sky becoming blue. And then as the sun rays come and fall on the earth, slowly, one by one, the earth is getting lit up. You can see things which are dark, which is completely unknown, is becoming known. So based on this, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, from darkness to light. So light is knowledge, darkness is ignorance. So from ignorance, from darkness, let us go to light. Light is sun. It is sun who is giving us energy. It is because of sun that there is Agni. It is because of sun that we live. It is because of sun that we see the earth. So Upanishad says that sun lives in the eye. That means because of sun rays falling on an object, getting reflected and reaching our eye, then we can see the object. So sun is in the eye. So when you say, he is a fool who says sun is in the eye, what does it mean? Sun is in the sky. That means you don't understand the mind of Vedic rishis. So that is how you have to put yourself in their shoes, feel what they felt. And that is why we call rishis drashta. Drashta means someone who has seen not with our physical eye, not the physical world, but somebody who has seen beyond. That drashta is again different from not just seeing. In English, you say seeing. Seeing is believing. But drashtas, what they have seen, something beyond the physical world, they try to tell us, put it into physical words because words have limitations, and then tell us what they have seen.
How have our lyricists conveyed this concept to us in film songs?
Very simple, in such a simplest way that you will wonder, even Vedic rishis struggled to put it into common man's language, what they have felt, what they have seen, that is beyond common, that is beyond physical realm. The first sentence of the song from Babi Ki Chudiya by Pandit Narendra Sharma, Jyoti Kalash Chalke. Jyoti Kalash Chalke. Jyoti Kalash Chalke. Simple, Jyoti Kalash. You can imagine a kalash full of light and it's spilling over. That is what happens in the sky. Jyoti Kalash Chalke. So for a common man, Jyoti Kalash Chalke is very easy to understand. Now when you try to put yourself into the mind of the poet and think how he has described this Jyoti Kalash Chalke in the sky, you wonder at the creativity of that lyricist who in such a simple words has given such a beautiful picture in front of your eyes. Jyoti Kalash Chalke. Ve gulabi laal sunehre rang dal badal ke. Hue gulabi laal sunehre rang dal badal ke. Very simple words, but you know, sun rises in the east is a common thing. It rises daily. We take it for granted. But if you see the sunrise daily, today's sunrise is again different from yesterday's sunrise. It will be different from tomorrow's sunrise. No sunrise is same, though we call it by sunrise. You cannot step into the same river twice, say the philosophers. So each day with different colors. ये कौन चित्रकार है, says भरत व्यास. हरी हरी वसुंधरा पे नीला नीला ये गगन, ये किसकी बादलों की पालकी उड़ा रहा है पवन. हरी हरी वसुंधरा पे नीला नीला ये गगन. दिशाएं देखो रंग भरी, चमक रही उमंग भरी, ये किसने फूल पे किया सिंगार है. ये कौन चित्रकार है, ये कौन चित्रकार है. ये कौन चित्रकार है, ये कौन चित्रकार, ये कौन चित्रकार है. That wonder, that is the wonder of the ancient rishis. ये कौन चित्रकार है, ये कौन चित्रकार. Who is lighting up this world? Who is creating these beautiful colors, combination of colors which are unimaginable, and who is saja rahe hain, who is decorating this world with so many colors, sweet flowers. Each flower is different. Their make is different. Their petals. So everything you really take up when you. And
same for us. I mean, same us human beings. We are also different. We are also unique. We all have our own colors. Yes. We have our own personalities. We have our own characteristics. It's the same thing. I mean, there's no difference. I mean, the limited. I've read the very limited amount of Upanishads and the Vedas. not as well as you have read them and many other people who are far more well versed in the subject. But what I've gathered from all what I've read is that we all are part of the universe. There's no difference between me and a bird flying in the sky and the tree, growing outside my house. The butterfly. We all connected.
We are all connected. We are all connected by some Shakti. That Shakti you may call God, you may call Ishwar, whatever name you call. So that is what our ancestors have seen, that the entire world starts with sunrise. That is why in Indian way of thinking, day starts with sunrise, not at night 12 o'clock. We don't change the date or tithi at night 12 o'clock. We change it with the sunrise. We calculate when the sun rises 6:53 a.m., 6:02 a.m. and that day starts with this sunrise to next sunrise is 24 hours for us. So that is how we went along with the sun. The day starts with him, ends with his sun. So from Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. And here Pandit Narendra Sharma in Jyoti Kalash Chalike has described the Vedic thought, that which is expressed in Upanishads, that which is expressed in Puranas, that which is expressed in Veda, in such simple terms that a common man can understand it, feel it, and really elevate his thinking or elevate his understanding of the world. Ghar aangan van upavan kariti jyoti amritike sinchan. Amrit we think is life, which makes you live forever. When the world is in darkness, it is like death. No movement, you cannot see anything, you don't know what is in front of you. So it's like ignorance. It is like death. Ignorance is like death. Knowledge is living. So in those, ignorance is dispelled by the rays of the sun. Ghar aangan van upavan karati jyoti amritike sinchan. So that amrit is, sinchan is like spreading. So when this jyoti or the light is now spreading across the world, inch by inch, bit by bit.
Ghar aangan van upavan karati jyoti amrit se sinchan.
It is now spreading light because suddenly you see the world come up alive in front of your eyes, which was in darkness till few seconds ago. So there is one song called Dheere Dheere Subha Hui Jaag Uthi Zindagi, expressing the same feeling that Pandit Narendra Sharma has said. Ghar aangan van upavan karati jyoti amritike sinchan. So the same thing he is expressing. Indivar is the lyricist of this song from Haysiyat. Dheere Dheere Subha Hui जाग उठी जिंदगी.
धीरे धीरे सुबह हुई जाग उठी जिंदगी.
That means life was sleeping before. It was in darkness. It was in ignorance. There was no movement, no chaitanyam. And that chaitanya or that kind of activity, धीरे धीरे सुबह हुई जाग उठी जिंदगी.
पंछी चले अंबर को.
And then Panchi chale ambar ko, Majhi chale sagar ko. So see, he is describing slowly what is happening here. प्यार का नाम जीवन है, मंजिल है प्रीतम की गली, धीरे धीरे सुबह हुई. And here in this song, he describes the other things also, like डूब के सूरज फिर निकला, सारे जहां को नूर मिला, दिल के द्वारे तुमको पुकारे एक नई जिंदगी. डूब के सूरज फिर निकला. That means evening is over, night is over, and then morning has come up. And here I would like to say something, how our lyricists have infused this kind of positivism into our thinking. Sahir Lujani, in a film called Sone Ki Chidiya, has written a beautiful, we cannot say lyric, it's a fact of life. रात भर का है मेहमा अंधेरा, किसके रोके रुका है सवेरा, लब पे शिकवा न ला अश्क पीले, जिस तरह भी कुछ देर जीले, अब उखड़ने का है गम का डेरा, किसके रोके रुका है सवेरा.
रात भर का है मेहमा अंधेरा, किसके रोके रुका है सवेरा.
He has compared night with sadness or grief or bitterness or whatever it is, despair, depression. Morning is something brings light, hope, everything. So this sunrise is taken up by our lyricists in such a beautiful way. They are described as धीरे धीरे सुबह हुई जाग उठी जिंदगी, करती ज्योति अमृत के सिंचन. Someone says रात भर का है मेहमा अंधेरा, किसके रोके रुका है सवेरा. So this way our lyricists have taken up the philosophy, positivity that is embedded in our Vedic concepts and put it into such simple terms so that even common man can understand the positive thinking of our ancestors, like Tamasoma Jyotirmaya, from darkness to light again. रात भर का है मेहमा अंधेरा, किसके रोके हुआ रुका है सवेरा, डूब के सूरज फिर निकला, सारे जहां को नूर मिला. Noor is light. So entire world got light. Light is knowledge. So this is how our lyricists have made these simple things. And there is another beautiful Shailendra song from Jagte Raho. Jago Mohan Pyare, Navayug Chume Nain Tumhare, Jago Mohan Pyare.
जागो मोहन प्यारे जागो जागो मोहन प्यारे जागो.
So Navayug Chume Nain Tumhare. That means in this film, I think you saw the film where Raj Kapoor wants a cup of water and then he was misunderstood and he searches everywhere. Then the entire night, the film takes place in the entire night. And in the morning, as the sun rises, one lady will be watering the flowers or the garden, and then she'll be singing song, Jago Mohan Pyare, Navayug Chume Nain Tumhare. So beautifully, that man, it has suited the situation, and then it tells the world something of Vedic knowledge. Like,
किरण परी गगरी छलकाए, ज्योत का प्यासा प्यास बुझाए.
मन की अंधेरा जाए, किरणों की गगरी पुकारे. So the जग उजियारा चाहे, मन की अंधेरा जाए, किरणों की रानी गाए, जागो हे मेरे मनमोहन प्यारे, जागो नवयुग चूमे नैन तुम्हारे, जागो मोहन प्यारे. So this is what this lyricists have done is they have taken the hope, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya concept from our Vedas, Upanishads, and clubbed it with the common sense, and then made it so simple that anybody who listens to them will feel them, understand them. It gives them hope. रात भर का है मेहमा अंधेरा, किसके रोके रुका है सवेरा, gives hope to everyone. That can be quoted to everyone. लब पे शिकवा न ला अश्क पीले, जिस तरह भी कुछ देर जिले.
लब पे शिकवा न ला अश्क पीले, जिस तरह भी हो कुछ देर जी.
Even a small creature, when you try to kill it, tries to preserve its life and runs towards the security. It runs, you have to run after it to kill it. Even a small centipede, small ant, everything. Then it is humans who are foolish, who do not think, try to kill themselves, take their own lives. This song in the lyrics by Sahib Janvi gives that meaning, like Labbe Shikwanala Ashkapile, Jistare bhi ho kuch der jile. You just wait for that second. All this kind of suicides take place in the split of a second. That 1 minute, 2 minute time when that fellow is in despair. If you can give him hope, ab ukhadne hai gam ka dera, kiske roke ruka hai savera, he will live through that. It's a matter of few minutes, few seconds of madness. So these are the songs. When you listen to them, they give you hope. They give you that there is a morning coming up. There are many songs, but I would like to stress upon these few songs which have made Vedic philosophy. Many lyricists, like for example, even when you sing a daily song to a child, when a child is born, he is like Chanda hai tu, mera suraj hai tu, o mere aankhon ki tara hai tu. Why is she taking the name of Chanda, Suraj and Tara? They are light. And Suraj, Chanda hai tu, mera suraj. We say one eye is moon and another eye is sun. So these are the things that light up our world. In the morning, it is sun who gives us light. In the evening, in the night, it is moon who gives us light. That means throughout the day, throughout life, we'd like to have knowledge. Chanda hai tu, mera suraj hai tu, o mere aankhon ki tara hai tu.
चंदा है तू मेरा सूरज है तू, ओ मेरी आँखों का तारा है तू.
Aankhon ki tara is a commonly used synonym for someone who is lighting up the life. But here, if you see Chanda and Suraj, you combine with Tara. When there is no moon, suppose it is Amavasya night, when there is no moon, it is the stars that give us light. So it is light throughout. Such simple lyrics. He is giving us, if you just understand those lyrics, why the words are used, why the symbolism is used. It's light throughout life. There is no darkness in the life. She wants her child to be happy, and because of the child, her life is also becoming happier every day, every second. So these are the simple lyrics. The lyricist of the song right? Obviously, is Anand.
This entire event, this entire episode is all about our lyricists. We want people to value the lyricist and realize that the what the lyricists have written is not just for entertainment. It's actually it's a lot of Vedic philosophy is very naturally reflecting in their lyrics. So we must name the lyricists and give them the respect and the importance that they deserve.
Yes, and here there is another two stanzas that I would like to mention from Jyoti Kalash Chalke, because each song, I think, if you understand them properly, it takes hours and hours to really discuss about them, dissect them, go into the depths of the symbolism that they have given in this song. For example, we talked about Karangan Upan. Next, if you go to the next charan, Paat Paat Birva Haryala, Dharti Ka Mukh Hua Ujala.
पात पात बिरवा हरियाला, धरती का मुख हुआ उजाला.
Such sapne kal ke, Jyoti Kalash Chalke. And then you see, Usha ne आंचल फैलाई, फैली सुख की शीतल छाया, नीचे आंचल के, Jyoti Kalash Chalke. That means Usha. Usha is again a term used in Vedic mantras to depict a female, like Suryodaya. When the sunrise takes place, they have divided sunrise into stages, Vedic rishis. Usha is one stage. Usha is a female. She travels across the sky and she is a lover of sun. That means as she approaches, sun is following her. So Usha ne Achal Pailai, just here also the poet has taken Usha as a female whose Achal is spread. As their Achal spreads across the world, there is light. Paili Sukhi Shital Chaya. So that is how in Vedas they have described Usha travels across the sky, and wherever she travels, she spreads happiness, she spreads light, etc., etc. And there will be a lot of prosperity wherever Usha goes. And here the poet, in simple terms, says, Usha ne aachal phailai, phaili sukhi sheetal chaye, niche aachal ke. Under this protection of her aachal, you see, such sapne kalke, Jyoti Kalash Chalke. And Ambar Kumkum Kan Barsaye. This is again a beautiful sentence. Ambar Kumkum Kan Barsaye. Kumkum, you know, is a bindi that it is saffron color. And when sun rises, people might like to read religion into it, but it's a simple description of saffron color spreading across the sky as the sun rises. Ambar Kumkum Kan Barsaye.
अंबर कुमकुम कण बरसाए, फूल पंखुड़ियों पर मुस्काए.
Ful pankriya par muskaye. That's a beautiful description. Bindu tuhina jalke. See the words that he is using, such Shuddha Hindi. Bindu tuhina jalke, Jyoti Kalash Chalke. This is a beautiful description. He is describing entire sunrise, what is happening there, along with the Vedic symbolism. Bindu tuhina jalke. Tuhina, you know, is a frost, a drop of Niharika is a beautiful word that we say. He says, Bindu tuhina jalke. And when sunlight reflects on that small droplet, it shines like hell. And then there will be even a rainbow might happen because of that sunlight getting refracted through the water droplet. Just to go through this lyrics itself by Pandit Narendra Sharma, you get such a good auspicious, such a good pavitra bhavana, we say, such a feeling when you read these things. And if you watch the video of this song, the director has understood so beautifully the lyrics of Pandit Narendra Sharma that it will be dark. The lady, Meena Kumar, is the heroine. She opens the door, she comes out, and Alapana starts. And then sun's rays fall on her. That light, the beam of light. That means the way the Alapana goes on by Lata Mangeshkar, it is like the entire universe is celebrating the sunrise. And even in Vedas and Upanishad, there are many mantras extolling that even the birds are celebrating the arrival of sun. All the jivas, all the beings are celebrating the arrival of the sun. So when she takes this Alapana, Lata Mangeshkar, and the beam falls on her, and that Meena Kumari in white dress walks across, it is such a beautiful feeling that you get that the entire universe is shouting in celebration at the arrival of life, at the arrival of sun rays, which is giving life to the universe. Karite Amritiki Sinchan. So these are all interconnected in such a way that song is picturized.
So I think what we can conclude now, is time for us to wrap up, is that it's obvious. I mean, the way, the importance of the sun, the significance of the sun. No wonder that 6,000-7,000 years ago, when these Vedas were written, the Upanishads were written, at that time, they considered them as God. Why? Because of the importance to life, the importance of the sun, the significance of the sun to life for all living beings. And no wonder they were worshipped, and that's the reason why we gave them a roop, a form of God. We consider them like God, and it's something you look up to, something you would like to worship, because who would not like to wait for the sun to rise so that they can see danger approaching, they can see where they're walking, they can see what they're eating, they can see what they are wearing, they can see their loved ones, they can see an enemy, they can see a protector, they can see their parents, their family. They can see an approaching dangerous animal. So the importance and significance of sun, no wonder it was worshipped, and we gave it the form of Agni. We gave it the name of Agni, and we worshipped her. And I think we worship her even today.
There is a reason for worshipping sun. Plants, the sunlight travels 93 million miles and reaches the plants, which turn it into their food, chlorophyll. Animals eat the plants; they get energy. We eat the animals, or we take fruits or those leaves of
plants.
We get energy. The entire universe gets energy because of sun. If the sun rays do not fall here, there is no chlorophyll, and if the plants do not convert it into food, so the entire universe moves because of sun.
And even if the water was not to be evaporated and going back into the atmosphere and coming back as water, as rain, there would not be water. So yes. I mean, look at the importance of sun. So I'm not surprised. I'm grateful and thankful that our ancient rishis and philosophers, thinkers, they taught us the importance of the sun. I mean, which we learn now via science. They knew the importance at that time.
Not just sun, they have lived with the nature, they have understood the nature, and each and
exactly. And even, yes, and also worshipping the rivers. It is not that they were worshipping the river, they were worshipping water. We are looking for water in different planets, various planets. We're spending billions of dollars and rupees on spending, to find water on other planets. And they knew the importance of water at that time, so they worship the rivers. And that's the reason why we worship the rivers, because water gives life. We worship the sun because sun gives life. And look at the intelligence of these people.
We worship trees.
I am so proud that I belong to this culture.
You should be, and we all should be.
Yeah, absolutely. So great, Murli. This is another great, nice, very interesting session and very deserving session. I think this is a great tribute to sun, great tribute to water, this session of ours. And I hope our viewers and listeners can feel the same way. So thank you very much, everybody, for giving us your precious time, listening to us, our conversation. This is a chat that Murli and I decided to have. We decided, why not we share this chat with others, and do something so that other people who may be interested in, into exploring our scriptures, exploring our ancient philosophy, because our scriptures is nothing but philosophy. You want to treat it as a religion? Great. For some people, food is a religion. For some people, travel is a religion. And I guess for some, philosophy is our religion. And I'm glad that we belong to the Hindu philosophy, because I think Hinduism is a philosophy. I wouldn't consider it as a religion. I follow it as a religion, but I live it as a philosophy.
And I would like to end this with a quote from Shailendra's song. जिसने मन का दीप जलाया, दुनिया का उसने ही उजाला पाया. मत रहना अखियों के सहारे, जागो मोहन प्यारे. मत रहना अखियों के सहारे. That means don't believe in these physical things, what you see with your. जिसने मन का दीप जलाए. So they have put that philosophy.
Use your intelligence.
Yes.
Man ka deep, intelligence.
Yes. जिसने मन का दीप जलाए, he is the person who found the knowledge in the world. So मत रहना अखियों के सहारे.
Don't believe everything you see.
That is what our lyricists have told us. That is what our ancients have informed us. Just to follow them, listen to them, understand them. Life is beautiful.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. All the best to everybody. Take care. Bye.